How to keep your sex drive red hot, even into your 80s. Hey everybody, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to keep your sex drive red hot, no matter how old you are. I have personally known multiple people in their 80s, and sometimes in their mid to late 80s, who still had a strong sex drive and were still sexually active. So it is absolutely possible, and I'm going to show you how. But before I do that, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Doing so really helps the channel, and I really want to get to 100,000 subscribers. I'm close. I'm a little over 80 now, so please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. It's totally free. Hey everybody, I am Kevin Anthony. I am a certified sexologist, Tantra Counselor, NLP Practitioner, and sex, love, and relationship coach. And for over a decade, I have been helping men, women, and couples have the relationship of their dreams and the best sex of their lives. All right, the first thing that I want to say is that your sex drive, your libido, your sexual function is not separate from the rest of your body and the rest of your life. And that's really important to understand. Because it's not separate, things that are outside of just your sexual function or just your libido can have a very strong impact on your sexual function and libido. So we need to understand that. Now, I recently had a return guest on my podcast, Dr. Judson Brandeis. He is an award-winning urologist, and he made a very bold claim at the end of the interview. And he said, in 10 seconds, I can improve men's health for about 95% of men. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm going to read to you exactly what he said. I quote, "Don't drink alcohol, don't smoke, don't do drugs, don't eat too much, exercise every day, meditate, stretch, get good sleep, and be nice to other people." Now, what does that have to do with your sexual function and your libido? How does that help at all in keeping your sex drive red hot into your 80s? Well, because that's the secret to a healthy body, and a healthy body is what enables you to be sexually active and have a strong sex drive no matter how old you are. So let's talk about a few of those things a little bit more, and then add in a few extra things that he didn't mention. So number one, eat healthy. You gotta eat healthy. This is the foundation of health. I think it was Hippocrates. I mean, obviously he's the do no harm guy, but I think it was also him who said, let food be thy medicine, right? So food is the number one medicine. You have to eat healthy. That means whole foods, not processed foods. It means organic foods, things not loaded with a bunch of chemicals. That means healthy choices of what those foods are. That means, limiting how much you eat, so you don't want to overeat. Right? And there's a lot more guidance than that. I'm not here to be your nutritional counselor, but if you are interested in that and you're looking at the way you eat and realizing I'm not eating the way I should, go out and hire a professional nutrition coach to help you get your diet dialed in. It is critically important. Next, exercise daily. You gotta do something. Our lives these days, for most people, are unbelievably sedentary. This is not good. You've got to get out there and move. You gotta do something. I work out every single morning in the gym. It's something I love to do. And then I have sports that I do outside of that are things that are also very physically active, but that are fun for me. I mean, I enjoy working out also, but not everybody does. But in either case, find something that you can do to get out there and move your body every single day. Next, drink enough water. This is also really important. It is amazing to me. Studies show that most people are chronically dehydrated. And you might say, how could I be dehydrated? I drink whenever I'm thirsty. Well, your thirst sense may not be actually giving you enough. The other thing is you need to make sure that you're drinking quality water. This is a whole other topic about what is quality water. You'll see a lot of things out there on the internet, but just go do a little research. In general, it should be healthy water, again, not loaded with a bunch of chemicals, not loaded with, I'm not even going to go into it because I'll probably get banned here on YouTube for saying it, but go do your research, make sure you're getting healthy quality water. Next is manage your stress levels. This is critically important. Stress levels can have a really big impact on your libido. There is definitely a correlation between the higher your stress levels, the lower your libido. One of the reasons for that is to really be in our sexual energy and for our sexual body to work, we need to be in our parasympathetic nervous system. So we need to be relaxed. This is why you'll often see, one, at nighttime when you're sleeping, as a man, you'll get erections, but you'll also see that, it doesn't have to be nighttime. If you've ever been to a nude beach and you've seen a guy just passed out completely, like drooling on the side of his face while he's sleeping on the beach, you'll see that he'll often have an erection. That's because he is relaxed. So managing stress levels is really important. You want to make sure that you sleep at least 8 hours a night, and that's quality sleep. Many of us do not get that opportunity. Our lives are so busy. By the time we go to bed, it's like, man, we got to get up 5-6 hours later. We're getting up at really early times, or we're staying up really late. We're really whacking out our body's rhythms. So it's really important that you try to get that more in balance and try as best you can to get 8 quality hours of sleep. Meditate. That is another one that is really important. This is just another way to manage stress levels, but it does so much more than that. If you've ever dove into the work of, say, Dr. Joe Dispenza or others, he's only one example. The research really clearly shows all of the amazing positive effects this has, not just on your brain, but on your physical body as well. So that covers pretty much all of the recommendations from Dr. Brandeis. I'm going to add a few more though. The next one is use it or lose it. If you want to keep your sex drive red hot, you've got to be sexually active. Now, some people will say, well, okay, that's great, but I don't have a partner right now, or, I haven't had one for X number of years. How can I possibly keep my sex drive red hot? If that's the case, then I suggest you have a regular masturbation practice. And guys, I'm not just talking about a masturbation practice where, you rub one out for 30 seconds or a minute to some porn just to relieve some pressure and then you move on. I mean, make it a practice. You know what they say, how you practice something in practice is how you'll do it in the real thing, right? This is why they're always teaching athletes, like when you're doing it in practice, you do it the way you want to do it in the actual game or competition. So same thing here. If you want to make love for 30 minutes without ejaculating, you got to practice in your masturbation practice doing that. If you can't go there in your masturbation practice, you'll never be able to go there in lovemaking. So whether it's through a masturbation practice or whether it's through regular lovemaking with your partner, you need to just keep practicing, keep doing it. The more you have sex, the more you'll want to have sex. The next one is strive for harmony in your relationship. When there are relationship problems, when the relationship is struggling, when you're not relating well with your partner, it's really hard to feel turned on and in the mood to have sex with them. That's just a reality. And goes in both ways. We often hear about that as like, well, it's the woman because she's annoyed by something he did and that completely shuts her down, but he still wants to have sex. Okay, sometimes that's the case, but many times it's the other way around. He's so tired of her nagging and complaining and, getting on his case about, things that he views are really, small and not important. And it just is a complete turnoff. It is a huge boner killer. So make sure that you're always striving for harmony in your relationship. If you are having a beautiful, harmonious relationship, you're going to be much more likely to want to have sex with that person. And that brings me to something that Selena and I have been teaching for years and we are huge proponents of, and that is what we call the constant state of arousal. That is where you do little things day in and day out to and for each other to stoke that fire. That could be walking by and grabbing her ass a little bit. That could be kissing each other passionately, just for no reason in the middle of the day when you're walking by each other in the kitchen. That could be sharing appreciations for each other. That could be putting on some sexy clothes rather than always walking around in just your sweats, right? Little things like that stoke that fire a little bit every single day for pretty much ever. Why would you not want to do that? The next one is to cultivate love, a deep connected love in your relationship. Now that's kind of similar to strive for harmony, but you can be harmonious in a relationship without a deeply connected love. So that's why this has its own sort of separate item on this list. You really want to work at cultivating a deep love, because when you really truly love somebody, you want to connect with them in that way. And then when you combine that with constant state of arousal and all these other things that I've talked about so far, you won't be able to keep your hands off each other. All right, the next one is to just relax about sex. We talked about how stress is a factor. We've talked about how, not relating well in a relationship is a factor. Too many people put too much pressure on themselves, on the relationship, on their partners. They treat sex as something that's so difficult and such a big deal. And what I want you to do is think of it as something that is easy, something that is fun, something that is a joy to do, right? You just have to relax a little bit. Take the pressure off. Take the stress off. It's not a professional performance. There's no, we're not dinging you any points. We're not fining you or writing you a ticket because you did or didn't do it or because it was a certain way or not a certain way. Just relax about sex. When you take the pressure off, suddenly people want to have sex more. And lastly, you need to shift your mindset around sex. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, you need to have the mindset of sex is great, sex is wonderful. I love, having sex and I want to have more sex. But what I see too with older people is as they get older, they just start going, well, yeah, I can't really get it up anymore. It's just a matter of age as I'm just getting old, right? Or, well, he doesn't or she doesn't want to, it's just what happens when you get old. Oh, we've been together for X number of years. That's just what happens. No, 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 and no, and then no some more, right? You need to shift your attitude, your mindset about it, and get to the place where you're thinking, wow, sex is amazing. Sex is wonderful. It's something that I want to continue to do throughout my life. And it's possible. Yes, things change as I get older, and I might need to make some adjustments, but there's always a way to keep that connection, to keep that fire burning, and to keep the sex going no matter how old you are. Now, granted, I'm only 50. It's relatively easy for me to say that, but I'm telling you, I personally know as friends, as well as having worked with clients who are significantly older than I am. And I've seen what works. I've seen how they are able to do it if they really want to, if they don't accept the failure of it and just go, well, that's just the way that it is. All right, I hope that you found that helpful. I hope that you are enjoying a wonderful, rich, and fulfilling sex life for your entire life, right up until the end, however long that is. And as always, if you need any support along the way, go to kevinandceline.com/link in bio. That link is in the description. That takes you to my link tree, which has links to all of the ways that you can work with me through my online courses, listening to my podcast, watching my YouTube videos, working with me one-on-one as a coach or as a couple. It's all right there. Just go check out that link.